If something should happen to you, what would happen to your farm? If the security and protection of your family and the passing of the farm to your loved ones is your dream, then you need a well-thought-out farm estate plan.
I'm Brad Swenson, president of Swenson Investments in Commodities in Sioux Falls and Huron. We're a family-owned company that helps farmers keep the family farm.
During our Farm Basics time today, since it's election season right now, we figured why not talk a little about the Farm Bill? And I get so worked up about this Farm Bill thing because in my opinion, they should have two completely separate things. One for food stamps and all the social programs, and the other for the actual Farm Bill. And the actual Farm Bill is a small percentage of the whole Farm Bill. What's the deal?
Well, here's the whole thing. It's really interesting in Washington, D.C. how things are named. And when they pick a name, they want a name that's going to help things pass. And so they call something the Farm Bill, and they tack on 15 different programs into one bill. So when you're thinking Farm Bill, well, I necessarily would think that's money that's going to farmers to help them out for some reason. We don't know why. And yet it's 15 different programs all lumped together into one.
Okay, so in 2009, there were approximately $75 billion worth of actual spending spent on the Farm Bill. And so right away, people are saying, oh my goodness, farmers, they're making good money, and yet you're giving them all kinds of money in the Farm Bill.
There's roughly 1 million farmers, and there's $75 billion. You think, wow, that's a lot of money. I should be a farmer. That'd be a good paying job just for the government check.
Right, except for the fact that 75% of the money, yes, 75% of the money spent on the Farm Bill in 2009 went to food stamps. 75%, over $55 billion went to food stamps. It didn't go to farmers. You know what actually went to farmers? People who are raising commodities. The amount that went to commodities was about $7 billion. Now don't get me wrong, $7 billion is still a lot of money, but compared to the $75 billion of the entire program, it's less than 10%.
And when we talk about money that's going to farmers, there are a number of different things that are in the program, whether it's conservation programs, which may or may not be
about $4 billion.
May or may not be
crop insurance, which was another $7 to $8 billion. So there are some things there that would also go to agriculture, but the vast majority of the Farm Bill is money that's not going to agriculture at all. And that's what we wanted to clarify today, just so you're aware of what's really going on. And look this stuff up. You know, the projections would show that in 2010, 2011, 2012, it's going to get even worse. In other words, there's going to be less money that goes to farmers and more that goes into food stamps and social programs. So instead of 75%, it's going to be 80, 85% that has nothing to do with agriculture. I just don't understand how that can be in the Farm Bill.
Well, eventually I think the farmers are going to be cut out completely, Brian. It's still going to be called the Farm Bill because that's what it's always been. Because it does get back to food, I guess, and nutrition.
Yeah.
But anyway, politics are a little bit tricky. And, you know, on the farm, we don't understand why things happen the way they do. But we do understand that you can look this stuff up for yourself and see what's going on. Because just because something's called the farm program does not necessarily mean that farmers are getting big checks.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, you know, everything they're doing in the Farm Bill is necessarily wrong. I don't really have all the information to give you an answer one way or the other. All I'm saying is that in our opinion, we should have two separate bills. Let's have a Farm Bill, and then let's have another bill for food programs. That way, at least the general public would have a better understanding of what's really going on.
Well, all we'd like is to have some transparency in the bills that are coming out of Washington so we knew what was in them. And we'd also like some transparency in our field so we could see all the weeds. Weeds like our Weed of the Week. Can you identify this week's weed?